All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our December 2nd board meeting. Please join us for the pledge. Councilwoman Noack.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy. Here. Councilwoman Noack.
Here.
Councilwoman Anzarello.
Here.
Councilman Lovett.
Yeah. All right, we will begin this evening. We have 5 site plans. Mr. Trotter.
Good evening, Supervisor, member of the Town Board. William Trotter with the Planning Department, and I have 4 site plans to present tonight to the Board, acting as the Board of Site Plan Review. The first application is case number 25-06, Smithtown Gospel Tabernacle. The subject site is located on the west side of Brookside Drive in Smithtown. The proposal is for playground equipment upgrades, a new sports court, and retaining walls involving tree removal, regrading, and associated site work. This is the proposed site plan. The scope of work will take place on the north side of the school. Here's a larger scale version. So they'll be upgrading some playground equipment, a new sports court. They'll be regrading this area so it's flat to facilitate these new courts. There'll be a 2.5-foot tall retaining wall around the corner of the north side of the property with new evergreen plantings around the perimeter to screen from the adjacent residences. The applicant has agreed to 2 conditions of site plan approval. First, that the applicant obtained the necessary permits from the building department. And the second condition is that they install a tree preservation fence around all trees to be preserved on site. Does the board have any questions on this application?
Any questions
No.
by the board? Okay.
Okay. The next application is case number 25-08, Steel Forest, 500 Comac Road. Subject site is located on the east side of Comac Road, just north of the Northern State Parkway. The proposal is for a proposed parking lot expansion involving the construction of 219 land bank parking stalls with associated site work and a new canopy over an entrance door. This is the proposed site plan. The scope of work will take place on the north end of the site. See in dark gray are the proposed new parking stalls. They'll be constructed around the perimeter of the existing parking lot. The purpose for this parking lot expansion is because of Stony Brook Medicine is going to be taking over additional space within the building, and they anticipate more patients coming to the site. The applicant has agreed to 5 conditions of site plan approval. The first is that they obtain permits from the town building department. The second condition is that they install a tree preservation fence around all trees to be preserved on site. The third condition is that the applicant obtain a highway work permit from the Suffolk County Department of Public Works. The fourth condition is that the applicant maintain the stormwater pollution prevention plan on site for the duration of construction. And the last condition is that prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy, the existing recharge basin is to be cleaned of any accumulated sediment. And this is just a more scaled-in version of the site plan. This is the northwest corner of the property and the northeast. Any questions on this application?
Questions by the board?
No.
Thank you.
The next site plan is case number 25-09, Raising Canes. The subject site is located on the southeast corner of Vanderbilt Motor Parkway and Comac Road in Comac. This is the Vanderbilt Shopping Center. The proposal is for the demolition of an existing 2,752 square foot building, which is the former McDonald's, and the construction of a new 4,070 square foot, 1-story food retail building with a drive-through and associated site work. So you can see this is a street view from Motor Parkway. The McDonald's will be demolished and a new Raising Canes will be constructed closer to the corner. This view is from Comac Road. These are both county roads. The site plan was referred to the County Department of Public Works for their review. So this is the proposed site plan, scaled-in version. So as you can see, the new building will be situated closer to the corner, but that's mainly to provide a double drive-through lane and for additional parking on the south side of the building. There'll also be improvements to the entrance on Motor Parkway. They're going to be widening it, so there'll be a new left and a right turning lane to better, for patrons to easier egress the site. This is the proposed architecture of the building. The applicant has agreed to 6 conditions of site plan approval. The first is obtain the necessary permits from the town building department. The second condition is that they install a tree preservation fence around all trees to be preserved. Third condition is that they obtain a highway work permit from the Suffolk County Department of Public Works for curb cut modifications along Motor Parkway. The fourth condition is for landscaping modifications per the planning department. We had asked for substituting of certain species of trees and additional plantings to screen ground equipment. The fifth condition is that the applicant provide an updated detail of the proposed light poles. And the last condition is that the stormwater pollution prevention plan be maintained on site for the duration of construction. Any questions for this application?
Questions by the board?
I have one. How many parking stalls are going to be allocated for Raising Cane's now, as opposed to what we had at McDonald's?
I don't know the number offhand. It's relatively
The same?
the same. I know that the whole reason for this, the layout of the building, is to maximize the amount of constructed parking on the site. I can get you those numbers.
Thank you.
Cross-access for the shopping center itself still exists the way it is now.
Correct. Yes.
Doesn't
Yeah.
change.
So the new development is part of the overall shopping center, and all the cross-access will be
Eddie,
maintained.
can I just ask one question? Maybe stupid, but what is, it's a food retail, what is Raising Cane's?
Yeah, it's a fast food establishment. It's mainly chicken fingers
Oh,
and French fries.
Picture of a dog, and I thought maybe,
That's the mascot of the franchise. Yeah.
okay. Well, hot dogs?
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
The last site plan application is case number 25-12, Connection, 300 Kennedy Drive. Subject site is located on the south side of Kennedy Drive, just east of Marcus Boulevard in the Hauppauge Industrial Park. The proposal is for a parking lot expansion and an outdoor sport court with associated site work. They plan on constructing 75 additional stalls in the northeast portion of the site. This is currently a wooded lot. The use of the building is medical office, and they anticipate higher demand in parking. This area was previously approved as land bank parking. There's an existing sport court in its current location that will be renovated. There's also existing 2 cross-access points to the adjacent lot to the west. When the site was first developed, it was in the same ownership as the adjacent lot, and has sold and separate ownership, so they're going to be closing off the cross-access, adding new curbs, landscaping between the 2 lots, adding and infilling with additional parking stalls. There will be a new curb cut along Kennedy Drive as well for access, and the applicant has agreed to 4 conditions of site plan approval. Typical standard conditions: the first, that they obtain permits from the building department; the second, that they install a tree preservation fence; third condition is that the applicant obtain a highway work permit from the town highway department for the new curb cut on Kennedy Drive; and the last condition is that a written and signed agreement between the owners of 300 Kennedy Drive and 350 Kennedy Drive be submitted to the engineering department, as the proposed site work will be performed on both properties. Any questions on this application?
No?
No.
No questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Trotter.
Thank you.
These site plans will be voted on at the conclusion of the agenda this evening. We will reconvene as sitting as Board of Water Commissioners. Deputy Clerk?
Minutes approval, November 13, 2025, and release escrow Oakwood Building Group Plymouth Estates to the Smithtown Water District, and further authorize budget modifications.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes. Reconvene as Town Board, and we have 2 public hearings this evening.
First public hearing is to consider zone change petition Beechwood Smithtown.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. Vincent Pizzulli, appearing for the applicant, with offices at 200 Robbins Lane in Jericho, New York. And I beg your indulgence, I need to pass out a few things before we begin. The first thing I'd like to do is, for the record, hand up the affidavits of mailing and posting. Second thing I'd like to do is, in case you want to refer to anything that I'm referring to in the presentation. I compiled all the exhibits that have been mentioned in the presentation, in case you want to take a look at them.
Thank you.
I have two extras. And I also prepared a printout of my presentation, so you'll have it.
Sir?
I think that concludes the show and tell portion. Ladies and gentlemen, the background for this application is as follows. The subject property is an assemblage of 3 properties located at the northwest corner of Lawrence Road and Old Northport Road. The combined acreage is approximately 72.6 acres, including road abandonment areas, and all 3 properties are zoned R21. The assembled properties are known as the KPE or Carlson property, the Raleigh Poultry Farm, and the Correa property. In January of 2023, Beechwood submitted an application requesting a change of zone to the R6 zoning classification and proposed 391 attached units, consisting of townhomes and villas. The original application was scheduled for a hearing by the Planning Board in December of 2023, and the Planning Board recommended that the Town Board adopt a SECRA positive declaration and require the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. The original application was amended in September of 2024 to request a change of zone to the planned residential district in order to construct 288 condominium homes instead of 391. And the site plan was revised to address comments from residents, input from the planning department, and most importantly, the recommendations of the Smithtown Comprehensive Plan, which was adopted by the Town Board in April of 2024. In addition to the reduction in the number of units, 3 significant changes were made. The overall project density was reduced from 6 units per acre to 4 units per acre to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. 156 attached units were replaced by 53 detached single-family homes adjacent to the single-family homes on Linden Avenue. And third, a secondary entrance roadway was added on the north side of the property to eliminate pass-through traffic on Old Road and Old Indian Head Road. What hasn't changed is the nature of the project. All of the proposed new units will be privately owned homes. No rental units are proposed. And the plan still includes a 12,000 square foot clubhouse, which will be staffed by HOA management to operate and maintain 2 heated pools, 2 pickleball courts, a fitness center, a yoga studio, a sports lounge, bocce courts, and a putting green, among other things. The amended application was heard by the Planning Board on May 7th, 2025, and on September 11th of 2025, the Planning Board adopted a resolution recommending approval of the amended application, subject to several conditions. And a copy of the planning board recommendation is marked as Exhibit A in the index I handed up. The amended application was then referred to the Suffolk County Planning Commission and reviewed by the Planning Commission on August 7th of 2025. The Planning Commission adopted a resolution recommending approval of the amended application with comments and suggestions, and a copy of that resolution is marked as Exhibit B in the hearing index. The surrounding area is a mix of light industrial, commercial, and residential uses. From the west side of Indian Head Road to Lawrence Road, on the north side of Old Northport Road, are 3 sports and recreational facilities, Starbucks, a daycare center, 2 automobile shipping and transport companies, an HVAC contractor, the Fairfield Garden Apartments, the Country Point at Kings Park condominium community, a warehouse, 2 office buildings, a self-storage facility, single-family homes on lot areas of a 1/4 acre up to a 1/2 acre, and a construction and demolition debris transfer station. The proposed new condominium housing will be a transitional use from the industrial properties on Lawrence Road to the existing single-family homes on Linden Avenue, and will complement the existing multifamily developments along Indian Head Road. It will be consistent with the zoning and character of the surrounding area. Pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, the Town Board has conducted a comprehensive and cumulative environmental impact review, including the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement and a final environmental impact statement. The scope of the SEQR review included the potential impacts associated with the prospective development of the adjacent undeveloped properties, as well as the new projects in the surrounding area, Starbucks and Destination KP. The SEQR review process was completed upon the adoption of the SEQR finding statement on September 18th, 2025. The FEIS and the SEQR finding statement demonstrated that all of the potential impacts of the proposed plan will be mitigated to the fullest extent possible, and further demonstrated in many respects that the proposed project will be environmentally superior to a traditional or clustered single-family subdivision. A copy of the SEQR finding statement is marked as Exhibit C in the hearing index. As noted previously, the original project plan was revised to address the comprehensive plan recommendations. The comprehensive plan recommended clustered medium-density development to preserve open space, and it also recommended multifamily development, quote, if it would provide a public benefit and would not create significant adverse environmental impacts as determined by a site-specific EIS. The proposed plan achieves both objectives and will provide several public benefits without creating any significant adverse environmental impacts. The proposed plan also addresses the comprehensive plan's findings regarding the need for the town to diversify its housing inventory and provide additional opportunities for residents of all ages and income levels, and especially seniors and young people. The proposed site plan respects existing site conditions and zoning patterns, and the opportunity to combine all 3 properties to create a planned residential development is a direct result of the town's initiative to discourage or eliminate industrial uses and zoning along Old Northport Road, east of Indian Head Road. The proposed site plan respects existing site conditions and zoning patterns by 1, aligning the proposed detached single-family homes in the portion of the property adjacent to the single-family homes along Linden Avenue. 2, designing the grading and drainage to complement the existing topography and allow for greater preservation of naturally wooded and environmentally sensitive lands. 3, designing the drainage system to collect, store, and channel stormwater overflow from the uplands portion of the property and the adjacent state and county-owned land. 4, it utilizes the existing north to south valley for stormwater overflow, which promotes the natural treatment and recharge of stormwater and substantially reduces the amount of clearing and excavation that would be needed to install dry wells. 5, it minimizes cut and fill grading activity by reclaiming the previously mined and disturbed areas for use as recharge basins. 6, revegetating the previously disturbed areas and recharge basins with native species. 7, it creates stormwater retention areas and aerated ponds that serve as water features for residents and habitat for wildlife. And 8, we'll be constructing tiered retaining walls where necessary so that no single wall height is greater than 6 feet per the code. The proposed development also includes an on-site STP designed to provide capacity for the Beechwood project and additional capacity for potential future residential development in the surrounding area, should the town board desire. The proposed STP will utilize the advanced membrane bioreactor technology, which provides the highest quality of approved wastewater treatment available for residential projects in Suffolk County. The MBR is modular, which makes it capable of being upgraded with even more advanced treatment systems when they become available. The MBR will be housed in a one-story concrete block building, approximately 40 feet by 80 feet, and the entire sewage treatment process will be contained in the building. The MBR will not produce any odors or noise outside the building and will be screened from view by a 6-foot-high black vinyl fence and landscaping. There will be no impacts or adverse effects upon the surrounding area. The MBR technology is capable of reducing nitrogen loading to 6 milligrams per liter, which is far below the approved standards for conventional STPs and the new single-family IA septic systems required for single-family homes. The MBR technology will reduce the overall nitrogen loading of this project to a level equal to or better than the overall level of a traditional or clustered medium-density subdivision using the individual IA septic systems. The MBR has been approved for use at this project by the Suffolk County Sewer Agency and the Suffolk County Water Authority, and copies of both approvals are marked as Exhibits D and E in the hearing index. In connection with the SEQR review, a comprehensive traffic impact study was reviewed and accepted by the town's professional staff and SEQR consultant. The scope of the traffic study was expanded to include the prospective traffic generated by the new Starbucks and Destination KP, and it analyzed existing conditions, traffic safety, site access and traffic circulation, future traffic volumes and highway capacity during the weekday AM, PM, and Saturday midday peak time periods, key intersections and driveways, and construction vehicle traffic. As a result of the site access and traffic circulation analysis and comments from area residents regarding existing traffic conditions, a proposed emergency access driveway to Indian Head Road was modified to become a full access roadway to ensure that new residents and visitors will not drive through the old Indian Head Road and Old Road neighborhoods. I'm going to turn away from, if you can see from the map, the best way to show this is on the area. Can you get the aerial photo up, Pete? Thank you. The proposed development will have its main entrance on Old Northport Road to the south, and the secondary entrance driveway will be on the north side, will roughly coincide with the driveway to Raleigh Farm where it is now. And by having driveways on both the north and the south, that discourages any residents, new residents, from driving out to Old Northport Road and then using Old Road and Old Indian Head Road as a shortcut to Kings Park. If you live in this development now, you can just go right to Indian Head Road at the light. The key intersections and driveway analysis found that the addition of new resident traffic will not significantly impact existing traffic conditions and operations in the area. The traffic study also led to a recommendation to adjust traffic signal timing at the Indian Head Road and Old Northport Road intersection to shift some green time from Indian Head Road to Old Northport Road to mitigate delays attributable to Starbucks and Destination KP. I want to talk a little bit about demographics, if you don't mind. According to the United States Census Bureau, the hamlet of Kings Park had a population of 16,249 people in 2023, which is down from 17,657 in 2013. That's a decrease of 1,408 people over 10 years, which is more than twice the number of new residents that will be generated by the proposed project. Townwide, the overall population decreased from 118,306 people to 115,461 over the same 10-year period, a loss of 2,845 residents. However, the percentage of the town's population over the age of 55 increased by 5.5%, from 31.5% to 37%. More importantly, even though the overall population decreased, the number of people over the age of 55 increased from 37,294 to 42,687, an increase of almost 5,400 almost twice the number of residents that were lost over the same 10-year period. That's an incredible statistic, and it underscores the need to provide more housing choices for both the younger and older segments of the population. Countywide, an estimated 37% of total households includes at least one individual who is 65 or older, which is an increase of 3.4% from 2018. The Census Bureau considers this increase to be statistically significant and largely attributes the change to the decrease in the percentage of households with individuals under the age of 18 years. The trends regarding the increase in the number of people over the age of 55 and the decrease in the younger segments of the population are expected to continue until housing inventory needs are addressed. In order to have satisfactory housing choices for every segment of the population, we believe there should be an adequate supply of different housing types for each segment of the population. And the segments of our population that are underserved by the existing inventory are young people and empty nesters. The proposed project will help meet the needs of these segments of the population by providing additional housing opportunities for both groups. In the past 25 years, Beechwood has successfully built and sold 488 townhouses and villas in 4 condominium developments in the town of Smithtown: Country Point at Kings Park, Country Point at Smithtown, Country Point at Smithtown North, and Country Point Woods at Smithtown. Based upon Census Bureau statistics, regional housing studies, and the findings of the town's 2024 comprehensive plan, the town still needs a more diverse housing inventory to retain empty nesters. And this has been proven to be true by the success of Beechwood's previous developments in Smithtown. There is a continuing and growing demand for high-quality, maintenance-free lifestyle housing in Smithtown and all across Long Island. The proposed project will also provide more housing opportunities for young couples and first-time home buyers. Although lifestyle communities are not designed for raising families, the smaller homes will attract working couples not ready to start a family, and 29 homes will be designated as affordable housing for first-time home buyers in accordance with the Long Island Workforce Housing Act. In our view, the town does not need more traditional single-family housing to meet the needs of a shrinking population, and there is no shortage of traditional single-family housing in Smithtown. According to the comprehensive plan, the percentage of single-family homes in Smithtown was 85% in the year 2000, and the percentage is probably the same or slightly lower today. The comprehensive plan also found that the town's population is growing older at a rate which is higher than the national and county averages, country averages. Building more expensive single-family homes will not slow down the loss of young people, but if more housing choices are available, it is much more likely that the town will be able to retain more young people and empty nesters. Economic benefits. Based upon data supplied by the town assessor, the total property taxes to be generated by the proposed new development will be $2,787,840. This is an increase of $2,671,000 over the current property taxes, which are $116,469. The project will be 100% tax positive to the town because it will be a private community with private roadways and infrastructure. It will not need municipal services such as roadway maintenance, snow removal, or garbage removal, which are typically provided by the town in standard residential subdivisions. The project will also be tax positive to the Kings Park and Smithtown school districts because the largest proportional increase in taxes will be directed to the school districts, and the project will not generate a large number of school-age children. The tax levy increase for the Kings Park School District will be $1,774,439, an increase of $1,731,000 over the existing levy, which is currently $42,690. The Smithtown school tax levy will increase from $39,000 to $168,000. If approved, the total cost of Beechwood's investment in Kings Park is estimated to be more than $220 million. In the short term, 4 to 5 years, the project will create 500 to 550 construction-related jobs, and there will be a substantial increase in the patronage of construction material suppliers. Long-term, the project will generate 10 to 12 permanent clubhouse and management jobs. In both the short term and the long term, the project will substantially enhance the sales and growth of local food and service establishments. The project will also create significant business opportunities for local service providers and contractors, such as landscapers, irrigation technicians, snow removal, and roadway maintenance companies, private sanitation, home repairs and improvements, and domestic household services, among many others. The purchasing power associated with more than 600 new residents, along with the short-term and long-term job creation, will provide a tremendous boost to the local economy. Due to its proximity to downtown Kings Park and the economic benefits it will provide during and after construction, the Kings Park Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors met with the applicant and recognized that the development of this project will significantly enhance the downtown revitalization of Kings Park and all of its local businesses. And the Board of Directors voted to affirm and support Beechwood's application. A copy of the Chamber Board of Directors' approval is marked as Exhibit F in the hearing index. Because of its familiarity and experience with the visioning and planning of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, Beechwood consulted with Vision Long Island and requested its input concerning the proposed plan. Vision Long Island made several site plan recommendations and also suggested improving the plan's internal and external walkability and bikeability features, if that's such a word. Vision Long Island found that the proposed plan is consistent with the comprehensive plan and will help meet the need for more diverse housing opportunities in Smithtown and Long Island as a whole. Vision Long Island also found that the proposed project will complement the downtown revitalization plan by attracting future homeowners and customers with significant disposable incomes. A copy of Vision Long Island's recommendations and suggestions is marked as Exhibit G in your hearing index. The plans for emergency access have been reviewed and approved by the Kings Park and Smithtown Fire Districts. The plans for on-site fire suppression systems will be reviewed by the town fire marshal, and many of the proposed new homes will have sprinkler systems as required by the New York State Building and Fire Code. Winters Brothers, which is next door to the proposed location of the STP, operates a construction and demolition debris transfer station and expressed concern with the siting of new homes near its facility. After Beechwood confirmed that the property adjacent to Winters Brothers' facility is intended to be the site of the STP and no residences, the management of Winters Brothers wrote to the planning board and stated that it fully supported the Beechwood development. A copy of their letter of support is marked as Exhibit H in the hearing index. Resident comment and input. In a concerted effort to inform area residents about the application and the plans, Beechwood prepared 6 mailings and sent multiple letters to several groups of area residents. Beechwood also sent informational letters and emails to everyone who expressed an interest in the application or appeared at the planning board hearing. The mailings included detailed and specific information about all aspects of the project and included copies of the site plan, renderings, and aerial photo images. Copies of Beechwood's correspondence to area residents are marked as Exhibit I in the hearing index. In response, many residents emailed and called with questions and concerns. Beechwood replied to everyone, and as will be seen in a moment, revised the plan and committed to reaching out to the town to help solve existing problems. Several residents along Old Indian Head Road made Beechwood aware of an existing traffic problem regarding the use of Old Road and Old Indian Head Road as a shortcut to and from Kings Park, and other traffic problems caused by Sport Times summer camp operations. In an effort to help, Beechwood arranged a meeting with the town's Director of Traffic Safety and offered to donate land to the town so that it could realign the intersection of Old Road and Old Northport Road. In order to try and slow traffic down and deter motorists from turning onto Old Road, the Director of Traffic Safety prepared a draft realignment plan that has been shared with area residents, and the Planning Department advised that it was considering recommending changes to Sport Times entrance driveway to better manage their summer camp traffic. Even though residents from Country Point Estates will not be using Old Road or Old Indian Head Road as a shortcut, Beechwood remains committed to donating land to the town. And a copy of the draft realignment plan and Beechwood's correspondence with interested residents are marked as Exhibit J in the hearing index. One resident to the east expressed concern with the location of the proposed MBR STP and sent a list of questions to Beechwood and the town regarding the STP's design and approval. Beechwood's sewer engineer answered all of the questions and assured him that the proposed STP will not have any adverse noise, odor, or visual impacts. A copy of the residents' correspondence with Beechwood and Beechwood's engineer is marked as Exhibit K in the hearing index. An adjacent homeowner on Linden Avenue expressed concern with the location of one of the proposed new single-family homes and potential noise from the bocce courts and putting green near the proposed clubhouse. Beechwood agreed to relocate the house, the bocce court, and the putting green. A copy of correspondence with this resident is marked as Exhibit L in the hearing index. Another resident on the west side of Linden Avenue incorrectly assumed that Beechwood proposed a driveway entrance on Linden Avenue. There are no proposed entrances or driveways from Linden Avenue, and with entrance roadways on the north and south sides of the property, there is no reason for any new resident to be on Linden Avenue or the drive-through, or to drive through the old Indian Head Road neighborhood. Across the street from us on Indian Head Road is Country Point at Kings Park. Country Point at Kings Park is an existing 137-unit condominium community on Indian Head Road. Since the northerly entrance to Country Point Estates would share a signalized intersection with Country Point at Kings Park, Beechwood met with the Country Point at Kings Park Homeowners Association to present the proposed plan and discuss intersection operations and traffic conditions. Based upon input from the HOA, Beechwood agreed to discuss potential intersection improvements and traffic signal adjustments with the town and the county. The secret finding statement also requires Beechwood to pursue all feasible methods to improve intersection operations that do not require eminent domain or the taking of property not under Beechwood's control. Beechwood's engineers will evaluate the intersection and formulate plans for discussion with town officials, hopefully during site plan review. As a result of Beechwood's meeting with the HOA Board of Directors wrote a letter to you expressing its support for Country Point Estates and its appreciation of Beechwood's outreach. A copy of the Board of Directors' letter is marked as Exhibit M in your index, but there is one passage in particular that I would like to share with everyone tonight. The last paragraph of their letter says, "Conclusion. The association appreciates the opportunity to provide input and has no objection to the project and offers our areas of concern regarding traffic control in the interest of not just us, but the general population. And the irony of the situation is not lost on us. We hope that we have been and continue to be a welcome addition to the Kings Park community." They're sensitive to people criticizing condominium communities as not being compatible with the character of our neighborhood, and they wanted to go on record in saying that. It's also worth emphasizing that the Country Point HOA is a local community association that has 137 members, and a board of directors that carefully considered the proposed plan and its potential impacts on behalf of its membership. Also, based upon their familiarity and experience with the condominium community lifestyle, many residents of Country Point and Kings Park have come forward to express their personal support for the new project, and you may hear from several of them tonight. The original Country Point development sold out quickly in the early 2000s, as did the Lakebridge Club in the early 1990s, because there was and is a continuing demand for lifestyle communities for empty nesters seeking to downsize and reduce their property tax bills. I'd like to finish my presentation by addressing some of the statements that have been made on social media and in local news. Much of it is inaccurate and deceptive, and it will probably take more than this rebuttal to stop it from continuing. 1, density. Contrary to unsupported claims by opponents and inaccurate statements made in local newspapers, Beechwood is not proposing a high-density development. Beechwood is proposing 288 homes spread out over 72 acres, which is if you do the math, is 4 units per acre exactly, or the equivalent of quarter-acre zoning. It is a large project, no disputing that. It's because the property is large, but it is a medium-density development that is consistent with the town's comprehensive plan, and it is less dense than most neighborhoods in Kings Park and other hamlets in the town. I want to add here also that the construction of the project will probably be phased in either 2 or 3 sections, so no one should expect 288 new homes overnight. It'll take 4 to 5 years to build out the entire community. I would anticipate new residents might, if it's properly permitted and approved by 2028, new residents might start moving in 2028, 2029. So you're not going to see 600 new people popping up in Kings Park in 2029. It's not going to happen. Second, PRD zoning. Also, contrary to misleading claims and statements in the press, the town did not create the PRD district for Beechwood's application or benefit. The PRD district is an existing zoning classification that was created by the town board in 1970 for the development of the Fairfield Retirement Community in St. James. Beechwood is requesting PRD zoning because it is the only zoning classification in the town code that allows for the planning of a condominium development that includes detached single-family homes. So again, it's PRD zoning, which permits up to 6 units per acre, but we're only asking for 4 units per acre. And if it'll make people happy, we'll covenant to never have more than 4 units per acre on the property. Rental apartments. This is a beauty. Although Beechwood has made it clear in correspondence with the community and at every public hearing that no rental apartments are proposed, some people still choose to believe or mislead others into thinking that Beechwood is proposing rental apartments. That's just not true and has always been untrue. All of the proposed new homes will be for sale to the general public and will be owner-occupied. Also, in order to sell condominium homes, the developer has to obtain approval of an offering plan from the Attorney General of the State of New York. The offering plan will set the prices and the terms of sale to prospective buyers and will include the proposed HOA rules and regulations for living and Country Point estates. 4, real estate tax abatements and subsidies. None. There is no pilot agreement with the IDA, and there are no tax breaks for the developer. The proposed development is an owner-occupied for-sale condominium, and it is not legally eligible for any tax abatements, subsidies, or mortgage or sales tax relief. The new homes and all of the common areas will be fully assessed, and the common area assessments will be apportioned and included in each homeowner's tax bill. 5, affordable housing. There is no Section 8 or HUD-sponsored housing. The proposed development will consist of 259 market-rate homes and 29 affordable units. The prices of the affordable units will be set by the town based upon the criteria set forth in its affordable housing policy, and the town will administer a first-time home buyer lottery for qualified buyers. School district. Despite the lack of any supporting data, opponents have persistently claimed that the project will overburden the Kings Park School District. Nothing could be further from the truth. The property is situated in 2 school districts, Kings Park and Smithtown, but the vast majority of the new homes will be in the Kings Park district. Student enrollment in both the Kings Park and Smithtown school districts has been declining every year for the past decade and beyond. Kings Park enrollment was 25% lower in 2023-24 than in 2014-15, and Smithtown enrollment was 22% lower over the same 10-year period. All of the proposed new homes are 2-bedroom condominiums, not traditional single-family homes. And these types of communities attract empty nesters and young couples without school-aged children. To provide the most accurate real-world projection, our environmental planning consultant contacted the Kings Park School District and requested records regarding the number of school-aged children attending district schools from the 2 largest condominium developments in Kings Park, Lake Ridge Club and Country Point at Kings Park. The school district advised us that Country Point had 7 school-aged children in 2023, and the Lake Ridge Club had 0 school-aged children in 2023. It's important to note that the combined number of units in both developments is 337, which is 49 more than the 288 units we're proposing here tonight. And both of the existing developments have 3-bedroom units, which Country Point Estates does not offer. To make sure these low enrollment numbers were not an anomaly, our consultant also requested enrollment records from the Smithtown School District. Beechwood has built 282 non-age restricted units in 2 condominium communities in the Smithtown School District, Country Point at Smithtown and Country Point at Smithtown North. The Smithtown School District confirmed that only 28 school-aged children from these 2 communities combined attended Smithtown schools. Based upon the data provided by both school districts, our consultant prepared a conservative analysis and determined that it is reasonable to expect that the project will generate at most 0.14 students per unit, which would result in the maximum potential enrollment of 38 students in Kings Park and 3 in Smithtown. To put all of this in perspective, Kings Park school enrollment has decreased by an average of 2.8% every year since 2007. In the past 25 years, enrollment peaked at 4,200 in 2007 and dropped off to 2,619 in 2024 for a loss of 1,581 students over the last 17 years. In the last 5 years alone, the district has lost 309 students. Keeping in mind that the proposed project will not be fully built out until 2030 or 2031 and will produce at least $1.77 million per annum in new school tax revenue, it is absurd for anyone to believe that the district cannot support the absorption of 38 students over the next 6 years, when it has lost 309 students over the last 5 years. In fact, the proposed project will produce fewer students over the next 6 years than the school district lost in the last year alone, but the school district tax levy will continue to increase. And I can't help it, but to put this in personal terms, I graduated from Kings Park High School in 1974, and there were more than 420 students in my graduating class. There were less than 220 students in last year's graduating class. Traffic impacts on local roads. More misinformation. New residents will not be adding traffic to Old Road or Old Indian Head Road. The proposed development will have 2 entrances that will provide direct access to Old Northport Road to the south and Indian Head Road to the north. New resident traffic will enter and exit from either Old Northport Road or Indian Head Road and will not need to drive through the local neighborhood. Also, with regard to complaints about additional traffic volume on area roadways, some people believe that existing conditions are unacceptable or that traffic conditions will get worse if any new development is approved. However, this kind of thinking ignores the overall condition and capacity of the existing roadways and intersections and the potential impacts of alternative development scenarios. For example, as noted previously, the overall population of Kings Park and Smithtown has been steadily decreasing, which means, obviously, there are fewer resident vehicles on the road compared to 10 years before. Also, the subject property was rezoned from industrial to residential to minimize the possibility of attracting high-impact industrial and warehouse users, such as Amazon, and the large amounts of commercial truck traffic that would be generated by those types of uses. The traffic generated by Country Point Estates and other local projects may need to be managed by signal timing modifications to improve traffic flow, but it will not overburden any streets or intersections. Open space. Some critics of the project have said that the property should be purchased by the town or the county and preserved as open space. But they ignore or fail to realize that Kings Park has more open space per person than any other hamlet in the town of Smithtown. In terms of both population and land area, Kings Park is the 4th largest of 6 hamlets in Smithtown in each category. However, Kings Park has more parkland than any other hamlet, 1,181 acres, and the highest percentage of parkland area, 26%. The inventory of existing parkland and open space in Kings Park includes the Sunken Meadow State Park, the Nissaquag River State Park, all of the local town parks and beaches, school district playgrounds, county-owned land in the Kings Park Unique Area, which is a 69-acre woodland nature preserve immediately adjacent to the subject property. There is no shortage of public open space, parkland, or wildlife habitat area in Kings Park, and there is no need or reason for the town or county to use taxpayer funds or other resources to acquire private property and deplete the tax roll. It's just not needed. In fact, the Smithtown Comprehensive Plan confirms that, quote, the town has a parkland surplus when accounting for town, county, and state-owned parks, unquote, and found that, based upon a benchmark of 8.5 acres of parkland per 1,000 residents established by the National Recreation and Park Association, quote, the town surpasses the benchmark by more than 3,100 acres. We have plenty of open space, valuable open space. However, despite the abundance of available parkland and open space in Kings Park, Beechwood will work with the town during site plan review to create a substantial woodland buffer along the northern and eastern boundaries of the property. And if possible, will offer to dedicate the buffer area to the state. It may also be possible to make gated trail connections to the Kings Park Unique Area as an additional residential amenity and encourage outdoor exercise and nature walks. At least 42% of the overall site area, or 30 acres, will be maintained as open space, including existing woodlands, meadows, revegetated areas, new landscaping, ponds, and other water features. Segmentation. Many people carelessly use this term to disparage the thoroughness and adequacy of environmental impact reviews. And in many instances, these same people have never read SECRA or the secret documents. I brought copies of the DEIS and the FEIS with me tonight, and they're sitting right here, if anyone wants to take a look. These documents are extensive and exhaustive and have been compiled and prepared over the last 2 years and have been thoroughly vetted by the town's Department of Environment and Waterways, as well as the town's secret consultant. If people were more familiar with these documents and the secret process, they would know that the environmental review of this application included a cumulative impact analysis of the potential development of all adjoining properties, as well as all pending applications and projects in the vicinity of the proposed development. SECRA requires that a hard look be taken to determine what, if any, mitigation measures are necessary to make sure proposed new developments are properly planned. A hard look was taken, and all potential development scenarios were factored into the environmental impact review and analysis. Finally, property values. Beechwood retained Lynch Appraisal Limited to prepare a real estate consulting report, which I will hand up as a separate Exhibit N.
That's right. Just keep mine.
All of the details of the analysis are contained and explained in the 34-page report, and the appraiser determined that the proposed change of zone is a reasonable request that will not have any deleterious impact on property values and will not adversely impact the character of the surrounding area. As part of the analysis, the appraiser also reviewed median home values within a half-mile radius over the past 3 years, and the study revealed that there were approximately 426 comparables with a median closed sales price of $650,000. With respect to the entire Kings Park zip code, multiple listing service statistics revealed a median closed sale price of $675,000 and a mean closed sale price of $683,000. Based upon all available information and public data, the appraiser concluded that the projected sales prices for Country Point Estates will improve real property values in the surrounding community. Conclusion. As noted previously, the Suffolk County Planning Commission and the Planning Board have recommended approval of this application, specifically citing its consistency with the 2024 Comprehensive Plan. This application addresses many community needs and concerns, and the proposed development will attract many town residents, young and old, who want to stay in Smithtown and be close to families and friends. It will also attract home buyers from other towns who want to move to Smithtown. Many critics of this project are just misinformed and have been spreading and promoting misinformation for purposes that have nothing to do with this application. To these people, land use planning is a popularity contest, and opinions are facts used to fit a narrative. Ironically, the same people who are reflexively opposed to new development wouldn't be in this room today if past town boards had listened to unfounded complaints about prior development applications. Since I have already addressed all the negative comments you are likely to hear, I would like to finish by reminding everyone about the success of every townhouse development that has been planned in the town of Smithtown, going back to Tara in Comac, Hidden Ponds in Smithtown, and the Lake Bridge Club in Kings Park. All of these developments were criticized as too big or too dense or out of character with Smithtown, but every one of them became a beautiful and successful community. The town's population is continuing to dwindle and disproportionately age, but the demand for condominium housing and lifestyle communities is increasing. Beechwood has had tremendous success with all of its Country Point developments in Smithtown and all across Long Island, and the new Country Point Estates will undoubtedly become another beautiful and successful community in Kings Park. To end my presentation, I'd like to submit to the board 73 letters of support from town residents who cannot attend tonight's hearing, and 9 letters of support from out-of-town residents who want to move to Smithtown. Several letters were also mailed directly to you.
Give those to Mr. Clark.
In addition, as of today, 261 people have registered on the Country Point at Kings Park website to inquire how to get on a waiting list for one of the proposed new homes. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for your patience and consideration.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Is there anyone on the board that wishes to be heard on this public hearing?
Not this time.
Okay, I know we have folks that want to speak. Be mindful, if you want to be heard right now, you're being heard. Your comments have to be connected to this public hearing only. After the agenda is completed, if you have any other business with the town, that is the time that you will have your opportunity to speak. But right now, it has to be connected to this public hearing only. You will have 3 minutes to make your comment. You will hear a tone. That means you have 1 minute left to make your comment. And I would ask everyone to be respectful. We want to hear everybody, take our notes, so we know how the community feels on both sides of this issue. Deputy Clerk?
Diane Motherway.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Werheim and the board for allowing me to speak. And I live in actually 116 Lake Bridge Drive, word that's been bandied about tonight. And I'm here to represent, I'm also the executive director for the Kings Park Chamber of Commerce. So I'm here giving you two perspectives, a personal perspective because I'm a resident of a condominium in Kings Park, and because I also represent the Kings Park Chamber of Commerce, and we did indeed compose that letter that Mr. Pizzuli presented earlier in support of the project. No one likes change. We tend to like to keep things the way they are. It's comfortable, but change is inevitable. Every day things change all around us. Every single person here tonight, every single building, every single house, every single store, park, every square acre in Kings Park is living in or sitting on what used to be woodlands or farmlands. I live in Lake Bridge, as I said, used to be woods. Before that, I lived in a new house that used to be a horse trail. I have a picture of my uncle with his foot resting on a rock and a rifle over his knee, and the notation on the picture says, "Hunting, Indian Head Road, Kings Park, 1928. I used to live off Indian Head Road, and maybe he was in my backyard, which became my backyard at the time. The point is that things change, lifestyles change, needs change, and we have to adapt to it. The Rowley family have been wonderful stewards of this precious land for many, many decades. There isn't anyone in Kings Park and the surrounding area who doesn't know Rowley's Poultry Farm and doesn't have a fond memory of visiting, purchasing a holiday turkey or some little chicks or some other goodies. The Rowleys have given all and then some. They are one of the most respected and best-known families in the area. But they feel the time has come for them to seek change, and it's time well deserved. I've heard so many unfair and unkind comments directed to Kathy and her family. It's very disappointing and not in the spirit of our town. I went on to quote, and I don't have time, many of these facts and figures that Mr. Pizzuli already presented to you. I just want to add a few personal comments. I'm not going to bore you with the repeat, plus my time is
almost
over.
up, by the way.
Anyway,
Time is up.
okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Douglas Serrato.
Good evening. Thank you, Supervisor Werheim and the board. My name is Douglas Serrato. I'm here to speak in support of the Beechwood project and the Rowley family. The Rowley family immigrated from Ireland to pursue... Oh, boy. All right, good, good. The Rowley family immigrated from Ireland to pursue the American dream with nothing to show when they arrived. They purchased the Rowley farm, and the patriarch of that family, as often as he could, bought more and more land. No stocks, no bonds, no 401ks. Land was the investment. That investment continues to be nurtured by the family. They recently spent over $100,000 to have the soil tested Not only is it clean, it's pristine. Right now, as you've heard, that property is mixed between residential and light industrial zoning. By not approving the residential zoning, we open ourselves to portions of that land being purchased by Amazon and other industrial businesses. I promise you, if an industrial business were to ever go on that land, the soil testing would not come back the same way that it is today. If the zoning is not changed, the town cannot stop industry from purchasing it. They will be sued and they will lose. And it doesn't matter who's sitting up there. So, for the neighbors of that land,
Mr. Serrato, do me a favor, please, just address the
sure.
board.
So for the neighbors of the land that live around that land, would they rather have Amazon or a beautiful house as their neighbor? The housing development, as you heard, will be single-family and owner-occupied condos. I believe a few months ago, the opposition was here complaining about apartments going up, but supporting owner-occupied homes. Well, something has changed, which is odd, because the same opposition that is furious that a bar in town had their liquor license revoked, okay, for having underage children in that bar, are the same people online opposing this beautiful project. Kings Park wants to revitalize. This project will significantly expand the property tax, as you've heard, bringing in new revenue for our schools and municipal services. The resulting tax revenue helps alleviate the financial pressure on current residents, supporting local business, which is all of your fiduciary responsibility. Even if every home in that development has 2 children in their home, it will not bring the enrollment in Kings Park back to where it was a decade ago. However, the taxes go up every year from the schools, and no one here is at those school board meetings complaining. They just take their medicine. We value preservation, but preservation must be pursued through acquisition, not regulation and not blocking building. If our county legislator wants to preserve all of this land, as he so often has said, he should have brought the Rallies a legitimate offer from the county. No one here is selling their house for 200 grand, okay? No one here is doing that. In closing,
Mr. Serrato, time is up.
owner-occupied, foster stability, this is the right move for Kings Park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Winsome Cameron.
Good evening, presiding officer and members
Supervisor.
of the board. Thank you. Good evening, neighbors. We're here tonight because we care deeply about this wonderful place we call home. I'm not just talking about another development proposal. I'm talking about an opportunity to build a better quality of life for all of us. I'm standing here not just as a resident, but as an original homeowner in Country Point at Kings Park. In 2004, I chose to put down roots here because I believed in this community's future. And I've seen firsthand the powerful, positive ripple effect that thoughtful, high-quality development brings to an area. I've seen our properties grow in value as we've gained beautiful shared spaces, and that success lifted the entire neighborhood. Now the developer, the same developer, Beechwood, is bringing that same level of commitment to our area with Country Point at Kings Park Estates. This project and the benefits will be equally profound and personal for every single one of us. When we talk about the immediate and long-term economic stimulus, we're not only talking about abstract growth. We're talking about dozens of construction jobs now and stable, permanent maintenance and hospitality careers right here for our neighbors. More importantly, the increased tax revenue and property values provide dedicated funding for our community. This could mean better resources for our schools, the ability to fix some road issues, and ensuring our emergency services have everything they need to continue keeping our families safe. Furthermore, this development directly benefits the beauty and quality of life we experience every day. The developer is committed to superior design, which translates to a commitment to our collective neighborhood pride. I'm certain that we'll see extensive, high-quality landscaping, beautifully maintained green spaces, and architecture that elevates the entire area's aesthetics. Country Point at Kings Park Estates development is a commitment to progress, and it's a commitment to us. It's a chance to welcome new neighbors and build on the successful foundation of the community we already love. Personally, I'm incredibly excited about the bright future we can build with the Beechwood organization. Just as an aside, I did retire yesterday after 30 years of service, Long Island Railroad conductor, and I'm still have a choice to stay in Kings Park or to leave. My decision is to stay here, spend my money here, where I've been the past 20-plus years. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Seth Neer.
Good evening. My name is Seth Neer, and I'm a proud member of Operating Engineers Local 138 and employee of Adrio Contracting Corporation. I'm here today to express my full and confident support for Beechwood and this project. I've been in the construction industry for a long time, and over the past 15 years, I've had opportunities to work on many Beechwood projects. That firsthand experience has shown me exactly what kind of contractor they are: steady, reliable, professional, and committed to doing things the right way. Beechwood jobs are well-managed, well-staffed, and executed with the highest regard for safety and quality. They communicate clearly, they coordinate effectively with the labor, and they treat their workforce with respect. Every project I've been part of at Beechwood has demonstrated their consistency with their dedication to delivering results that meet and often exceed expectations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Kettle.
Hi, good evening. My name is Michael Cattell, and I live at 20 Linden Avenue in Kings Park. I'm a Kings Park High School graduate and a lifelong resident. In 2016, my husband and I bought our home, a home that sits directly next to the site of the proposed Beechwood Smithtown development. When we purchased our property, we did so intentionally. We understood that our neighborhood was zoned for single-family homes, and that zoning provided stability and shaped our expectations for the future of our street and our community. So I have to ask, what is the purpose of zoning if it can be changed when a developer wants something different? Zoning exists to protect residents and preserve neighborhood character. If those protections are easily set aside, homeowners lose the assurances they relied on when choosing to live here. I understand the master plan was recently updated and from recommendations for this area, identifying part of it for medium density residential use and another portion to remain R21. Importantly, though, the plan notes that any multifamily development should only be considered if it meets the goals of the plan and provides a public benefit. That means the first major proposal of this type deserves careful and serious scrutiny by this board. We have to ask, does this project actually meet the master plan's goals, and is there a public benefit to offer? I speak not only as a homeowner, but as someone whose entire extended family has deep roots in Kings Park, Smithtown, and on Long Island. This is a community defined by long-standing relationships, people who stay for decades because Kings Park feels like home. The planning board has already recommended approval of this rezoning, but the size and density of the proposed development will permanently change our hamlet. And once that change happens, there is no going back. Developers often claim that this will attract young families, but is there evidence that higher density complexes like this achieve that on Long Island? As a partner at a CPA firm with my office in Hauppauge, I see firsthand how young professionals and their families struggle to find their first homes. They want affordability and traditional single-family neighborhoods, not dense townhouses or condo complexes. Developments like this do nothing to solve the real barriers young families face, and they can make communities less appealing by increasing congestion, straining our infrastructure, and eroding the small-town character that families value. My husband and I chose Kings Park because it is a small, close-knit community with a unique history and atmosphere. Once that character is lost, it cannot be restored. I'm not opposed to growth, but growth must be responsible, balanced, and consistent with the existing community. This proposal is not. Tonight, I respectfully urge the town board to oppose this rezoning, to defend the integrity of our zoning laws, to protect the character of Kings Park, and to ensure decisions made today safeguard the families who live here now and those who help to remain on Long Island for generations to come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Michael Miller?
Hi, thanks for having me today. I don't have any prepared written comments, but I just want to speak from the heart. I moved to Smithtown in 1999, my wife and I. We bought the home of our dreams. It was everything we wanted, and it was great, and we were also in our 30s. Fast forward to 2021, when I had recently retired from my job, and we decided that maybe now is the time to do what everyone does from Long Island. You sell your home and you move to Florida. So we did what everyone does every February when it's 10 degrees outside. We went to the home show over in Melville, where they had representatives from Florida and Texas and Georgia and South Carolina, any warm place in the United States that wasn't 10 degrees at the time. And we made a commitment that we're going to sell our home, we're going to rent, and we actually ended up renting in the Lake Bridge Club in Kings Park, and take a year off and go down and visit all these communities. And they were great. They all had the greatest clubhouses, the greatest amenities, and of course the warm weather. But what they didn't have was our roots. They didn't have our families and friends. They are situated right here in the town of Smithtown. So we came back with the thought that imagine if there was that type of community where we live now. And lo and behold, Beechwood decided to purchase land right here in Kings Park and create an opportunity for people like myself who didn't want to maintain the big house anymore, who didn't want to pay the really high taxes anymore. We wanted something that was going to be more affordable, low maintenance, and enjoyable and sociable. And this is exactly what Beechwood is proposing. So with that, I fully support Beechwood's plan to move forward to develop in Kings Park, and I hope you all accept their proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Albert Fox?
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm a retired dentist. My wife is a retired school teacher. We have lived in East Setauket for the last 50 years. We still live there. I'm speaking not only for myself, but also on behalf of many of my friends and peers who are in the same situation that my wife and I are in. We are a couple whose children have moved out of our current houses. These houses are too large and too expensive to maintain anymore. Yes, folks, there is an affordability problem on Long Island. Most of my friends have moved out of state, but there are still a number of us who want to stay on the North Shore of Long Island. The problem is finding a community that is suitable for our needs. I sometimes half joke that downsizing for us means moving into a smaller home that would actually cost us more. We have been looking for a reasonable alternative for about 3 years, and there is little to nothing available. The Beechwood project presents us with an opportunity to downsize, yet live in desirable Smithtown at a price that is affordable. We have seen the comparable community in Yaphank and are impressed with the design and construction of the units. I'm asking the board to come to some agreement so that this project can go forward, thus allowing people like myself to stay on Long Island and live in the great town of Smithtown. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dominic Elise? Dominic? Rocco Caparasso?
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Rocco Caparasso. I live at 18 Linden Avenue in Kings Park. First of all, we have no problem with the Raleigh selling their property. God bless them, they can sell it to whoever they want. Our problem is the condominiums. They're putting condominiums in sort of a residential area, which is not nice, you know, it's not right. You know, it's like taking an apartment house and putting it in the middle of Hoyt's Farm. I mean, it makes no sense, none whatsoever. And as far as traffic goes, the young man over here, the gentleman who spoke, their attorney, well, the guy who checked the traffic out, no offense, but I mean, he must have been sleeping. I couldn't get through yesterday. I couldn't get through with the Starbucks over there. I had to wait for 2 lights before I can make a turn. And don't ever go out during the summertime when they have the day camp around the corner and the tennis time. You're not getting through. These people do not open up, do not let you get through. And as far as waste management goes, their trucks are double parked, so they'll sign for anything. They love this guy. They want him there. The bottom line is MC. MC is money cash. That's what they're looking for. Let this guy find a place on Indian Head Road and put all the condominiums he wants. We don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? But not in a residential area. Let him put one-family homes there. Everybody in here will welcome that. But this, we're all against. I went in the yard this morning. I have about a half acre of land. Who do I see in the backyard? There's 2 bucks sitting there, just laying out, relaxing in the backyard, you know? And this is all going to be gone. There's turkeys on the lawn. There's pheasants all over the place. I mean, it'll be, in my opinion, destroying the neighborhood with these condos. Their condos, where they live, is on Indian Head Road. They don't have traffic problems. You're talking over 600 cars adding to the area. I don't know where they're going to put these cars. I don't know if they're going to have a traffic cop on every corner or not, because that's what you're going to need. But I appreciate your time, and I thank you all, each and every one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's gonna speak up, I can't hear her names. Ask
Who
her,
is it?
ask them to ask her to speak up a little bit.
Good evening, and greetings to the board members. My name's Steve Paglino. I've been a Smithtown resident for over 28 years. I'm sorry, my name is Steve Paglino. I've been a Smithtown resident for over 28 years. I am in support of the current Beechwood project. I feel it will provide more housing opportunities for people of all ages. With the current bidding wars and current climate now of real estate, I feel we can definitely benefit from more inventory. I feel it would also provide opportunities for seniors to downsize and enjoy maintenance-free living, possibly stay in Smithtown and stay near friends and family. It would also definitely benefit local retail establishments. It could provide long-term employment opportunities for people. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Angelo Alfieri.
Hello, everyone. My name's Angelo Alfieri. I'm a proud member of Local 1298. I work for Agio Contracting also, and I've been working with Beechwood for many, many years. You know, living on Long Island's not that easy, especially owning a house, getting older, trying to downsize, kids are getting big. I kind of want to get into one of these Country Point houses, you know, and I truly approve Beechwood working and doing this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake Coletti.
Good evening. My name is Jake Coletti, and I'm a resident at the Smithtown Tower at 92 Scarlet Drive, and I support the application for the Country Point Estates at Kings Park. Beechwood has built beautiful properties around Long Island, and I think this will be great for the community. I hope everyone will agree. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Mike Rosado.
Since the applicant's attorney had all the time in the world to address the board, and I only get 3 minutes, I'll just simply say that most of what he said was simply BS. Good evening. As previously stated to the town board, the Kings Park Community Association is opposed to the zone change petition by Beechwood Smithtown LLC to build 288 units of housing on Raleigh Farm and vicinity, including the largest privately owned tract of forested land left in the town of Smithtown. If the town board approves this petition, Beechwood could double the housing density allowed under current zoning, which would negatively impact the area's traffic, schools, and environment, resulting in the bulldozing of almost 60 acres of old-growth forest. In addition, approving the zone change would create a precedent that would permit similar housing density on 42 adjacent acres, potentially increasing the number of new homes in this one area of Kings Park to about 500, and almost 10% increase in the number of homes in the entire hamlet. The Kings Park Community Association believes the town's new master plan opened the door to this proposal due to the lobbying efforts of Kathy Raleigh, who was a close acquaintance of Supervisor Ed Warheim, including an active member of his political campaign team. In fact, after the town signaled in their master plan that they would entertain a zone change from half-acre residential 2 homes per acre to planned residential development 6 homes per acre, it doubled the value of Ms. Riley's property, who was in contract to sell to the Beechwood organization. It is this pattern of impropriety by the town that favors the well-connected and campaign donors that is most troubling. Changing the zoning doesn't benefit the surrounding neighborhood, consisting of single-family homes on half-acre lots, farmland, and an 85-acre nature preserve. It only benefits the landowners who refused offers from the county to acquire their sites for open space preservation due to the town's willingness to change the zoning and increase the housing density. Due to these concerns, the Kings Park Community Association had
1 minute remaining.
had over 90% of the homeowners living within 100 feet of the proposed project sign a petition, forcing a supermajority vote, 4 out of 5 members of the town board, to approve this zone change. Again, the Kings Park Community Association respectfully requests you deny this petition to help maintain the integrity of our community and to prevent political insiders from benefiting at our residents' expense. Thank you.
Paul Cassay.
Mr. Wareheim and the board, I'm here in support of the Beechwood community to be built. I'm a local 25 electrical contractor. I have worked for Beechwood for close to 30 years now. They're very strong, very good builder, take pride in their projects, will stand behind everything they do for this project, and they will do the right thing for the community. I hope the board supports this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
William Moser.
Good evening. My name is William J. Moser, 8 Jason Court, Kings Park, New York. I'm also a member of Local 25 IBEW, and I think I'm here for support of the Beechwood project. I think it's going to bring positive support to the town, to the school district, and to the economy of Kings Park. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Maffey.
Good evening, members of the board, our supervisor. I'm here in opposition to the rezoning of the Beechwood properties. We, as residents here, most of us have deep roots in this town. I have lived here my entire life for 63 years, going on 64. My parents moved here to give their family a better life. They lived in Brooklyn. They just redid their home. My father saw an ad in one of the magazines for a home in Smithtown, Long Island. They drove out. That was it. Done deal. My father said, "We're buying this home." And my mother said, "We just spent a lot of money redoing our home." And my father turned around and said, "I want my children to have a backyard to play in. I want them to have woods, trees. I want them to be able to have nature." This is where Long Island stems from, not just Kings Park and Smithtown. Long Island is about communities, small communities, communities that are well-knit, that have been here for years. And to be honest with you all, I really wish that you would all just dig down deep in your hearts and in your minds and consider the reason that you all are sitting here is because your community had faith in you. We believed in you. We believed that you would do what was right for its residents. We deserve to have what we all signed up for many, many years ago, starting
1
with
minute
our
remaining.
parents. And so I urge you all to please do the right thing. Please hear the majority of people in this town and these residents. We do not want 288 homes built. We already have more condominiums than we should in a 10-mile radius in Kings Park alone. That's just wrong. We have rights and we pay high taxes to live where we are and to have the residential area that we chose to live in years and years ago. And I'm sorry that people get old and they can't afford it. People know that. Everybody knows you get old. Everybody knows you're gonna have to move or do something. So it's life, it happens. You either find a way or you don't. It is not incumbent upon the rest of the residents to have to pick up the slack.
Ma'am, time's up. Thank you.
David O'Connell.
I'm David O'Connell of 92 Riviera Drive. Thank you, Board, for this opportunity for me to be heard tonight regarding matter 3241. My family and I support the amended rezoning application of 2025-02 as mentioned tonight. It is apparent that the applicants have made their best effort to address the Smithtown Zoning Board and residents' concerns. The proposed property should not be purchased by Town of Smithtown because of this example of its failure to maintain adjacent properties to my own that are owned by town and county that have invasive obstructive bamboo. So it's unreasonable to believe that they would preserve this property properly. I grew up in the potato fields of Long Island. To be more precise, I grew up in a tract house in one of those developments that street by street were gobbled up by more than 80% of 70,000 acres of Long Island potato fields. Imagine Long Island now if the first and earliest established communities, politicians, were given opportunity to squash others' development because they simply were selfish. There are neighbors scheming by saying, "not in my backyard," to maintain their own speculated property values. It seems this matter is a potential shameful overreach of local government and other characters because of its hypocritical to judge and regulate or dictate in any manner what this hardworking, God-fearing family does with their Raleigh farmland. To further that point, it's just not fair to choke development that offers opportunities to the families with the American dream to own their own home and the benefits that would go to local businesses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Bivone.
Good evening, Supervisor and council members. Richard M. Bavone. I live at Tony Drive in Kings Park. My wife Karen and I, we moved here 3 years ago. We were looking for a home for about 3 years before that, and we looked all over Suffolk County. We lived in Nassau County for many years, and it was time for us to move out east. We found this home that we really liked. We moved here for a number of reasons. One, that we like the way this town is managed, and we believe that this is the place that we would like to retire in. And I could tell you, this project, I'm an expert in this area, this project does work. The Beechwood organization is a great organization that knows how to develop homes throughout Long Island. I've seen their projects be developed in the different communities. They work. This is good for the town of Smithtown. This is good for the tax base. This is good for the small business owners. And I could tell you just a short story. In 1991, I got called by the president of NYRA. I was one of their consultants at the time. And he said, can you get over here? I need to talk to you. We have somebody that's going to donate something to the Belmont Racetrack. I said, okay. Went to meet with him. And he said, I need you to get me an approval for a building on the property. It's going to be a daycare center. And we have this gentleman that's going to donate this building. He's going to build it and donate everything for the workers so that they could drop their children off and actually work at Belmont while their children are being taken care of. To me, that was life-changing, and one thing that this man did this, and that was Michael Dubb from Beechwood. And I never forgot that, because when he says something that he's going to do, he actually does it. His buildings, when he does his landscaping, and how he hires professionals to actually work on the projects, and they actually do work. So I'm asking this board if you can approve this. I believe that it's a good project for the town, and thank you.
Thank you.
No more speakers, Supervisor.
Okay, there are no more speakers on this public hearing. There are none. And I move to close.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy? Yes. Councilwoman Noack? Yes. Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes. Okay, thank you. We have one additional public hearing, but I want to take the opportunity to thank you all for coming, number one, and number two, to thank you for your civility. The town board and myself, town attorney, took all the notes, so thank you very much for being civil tonight. It makes our job a lot easier. Thank you.
Second public hearing is to consider proposed local law 14-2025, an amendment to chapter 207 as it relates to exceptions.
Good afternoon, Supervisor and members of the board. The purpose of this public hearing tonight is to consider amendment to Chapter 207, Noise. This proposed amendment provides that non-commercial public speaking and public assembly activities conducted on any public space or public right-of-way are conducted in accordance with the provisions of this chapter. Unless there are any questions, that concludes this public hearing tonight.
Questions by the board?
No.
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this public hearing?
No, Supervisor.
I didn't think so. I move to close.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy? Yes. Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Consent agenda items 1 through 17 as they appear on the agenda.
Does anyone on the board wish to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda?
No.
Mr. Clerk?
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy? Yes. Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Town board to issue a secret negative declaration in the matter of the application for site plan approval by Steel Forest, Comac. Application for site plan approval by Vanderbilt Shopping for Raising Cane's, Comac. Site plan approval by Connexion, Papa. Application for site plan approval by Smithtown Gospel Tabernacle, Smithtown. In the matter of marine law permit 2025-1 by Suffolk County Department of Public Works. In In the matter of marine law permit application 2025-2, Suffolk County Department of Public Works.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy? Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Town Board to approve bid 25094, demolition of unsafe structure at 306 3rd Avenue, St. James, and to further authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement on a form approved by the town attorney.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack? Councilman McCarthy? Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Town Board to approve adoption of the Community Development Program Year 2026. Ratification of the Town Comptroller's execution of a national gas fixed pricing agreement with NRG Business Marketing. Adopt extension of the Smithtown Water District boundary and water main extension for Oakside Drive and Landing Avenue, Smithtown, subject to permissive referendum. Extension of bid 24082, asphalt picked up with Kings Park Materials and Basilico Materials East, and asphalt picked up and delivered with Asphalt Supply of Long Island. Authorize comptroller to sign applications and purchase insurance. Extension of an agreement with Risk Strategies Consulting for 1 year. Renewal of OpenGov Asset Management subscription with SHI Government Solutions. Renewal of Microsoft Volume licensing agreement with Dell Technologies. The rejection of all bids received on September 11, 2025 in connection with bid 25071 for the improvements to the Long Beach Marina South. Request for proposal 25079 for audit and accounting services to EFPR Group, and to further authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement on a form approved by the town attorney. The renewal of computer hardware maintenance agreement with Electronic Risk Consultants for specified servers and printers. Highway Department 1-month rental of a loader bucket. An agreement between the Town of Smithtown tax receiver and Safe and Sound Armed Courier for a 2-year term. Town Board further ratifies the supervisor's execution of said agreement. Ratification of the supervisor's execution of an agreement with Save a Pet Vet Clinic. Authorize the Engineering Department and the Department of Environment and Waterways to prepare plans and all requisite permit application materials, and authorize the supervisor to sign all such materials in order to obtain a New York State DEC permit to conduct the repair of drainage structures along New Highway in Comac. Sole source purchase of MyoVision traffic detection system from Traffic Systems, Inc. Renewal of Datto Infinite Cloud Retention Disaster Recovery Support Services with SHI Government Solutions. The extension of bid 24085 for cesspool cleaning and related services with Clear River Environmental Corp. The adoption of the Town of Smithtown Title VI program relating to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The rejection of all bids received October 30th, 2025 in connection with bid 25096 for office cleaning services. The purchase of office cleaning services from NICID, and to further authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement on a form approved by the town attorney. Town Board to approve marine law permit application 2025-1, subject to conditions as recommended in a memorandum by David A. Barnes, and to direct the town clerk to issue the requisite permit. Town Board to approve marine law permit application 2025-2, subject to the conditions recommended in a memorandum by David A. Barnes, and to direct the town clerk to issue the requisite permit. The 2026 schedule of town board meetings. DHSES 2023 cybersecurity grant application submission.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy? Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Town Board to issue a written consistency determination that Coastal Consistency Review 2025-18, Nisququag River dredging is consistent with the local waterfront revitalization plan as stated in the December 1st, 2025 memorandum from the Planning Director. The Town Board to issue a written consistency determination that Coastal Consistency Review 2025-19, Stony Brook Harbor dredging is consistent with the local waterfront revitalization plan as stated in the December 1, 2025 memorandum from the Planning Director.
Councilman Lumen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy. Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Town Board to accept donations on behalf of the Senior Citizens Department for memory flag and plaque designations, and to accept proposal from H2M Architects and Engineers related to professional services for local solid waste management plan for required biennial compliance report.
Councilman Lumen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy. Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Town Board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with town employees permitting the voluntary transfer of vacation and/or sick time to employee 001968, an agreement with town employees permitting the voluntary transfer of vacation and/or sick time to employee 3304, intermunicipal agreement with the town of Brookhaven for the disposal of film plastics collected at MSF, and an agreement with Macarone Plumbing for the installation of a new bathroom at the Town of Smithtown Senior Center. Said agreement to be on a form approved by the town attorney.
Councilman Lumen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy. Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
And personnel items A through G as they appear on the agenda.
Councilman Lumen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy. Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes the agenda. We will reconvene as Board of Site Plan Review, vote on site plans.
Minutes approval, October 23rd, 2025. And 4 site plans, Steel Forest, Raising Canes, Connexion, and Smithtown Gospel Tabernacle as presented today by Liam Trotta.
Councilman Lumen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy. Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes our agenda business. Do we have anybody wishing to speak publicly?
Yes, Supervisor. James Marsala?
I'd like to thank the councilwoman, Inzarello, hope I pronounced that right, and the supervisor for the information they sent me regarding this. I'm talking about the lithium-ion battery recharging and storage plant that they want to put in Hauppauge, where the 220 Rabrow Road was formerly a state complex there for whatever they're, something to do with,
Workers' comp.
what was it?
Workers' comp.
compensation.
Yeah, workers' comp, that's what it was, workers' comp. I knew that, I was going to get that up. But anyway, they want to build, they want to put 40 shipping containers full of lithium-ion batteries, and they're really bad. If you study them a little bit, you'll see that fires can start very easily with them just from heat, or even super cold, or a lot of heat, like 105 is bad. The fact that there'd be in these storage containers in the hot sun, all right, unless these things are air conditioned, who the hell knows? I don't know. I had to go to the meeting in Islip, which is far enough away. They're about 6 miles away from that site, where Hauppauge and in the Smithtown area, we're pretty close. And the wind from those fires can be very dangerous. They have hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen cyanide, and carbon monoxide as some of the byproducts there. But what about the water? The water that they spray on these things goes into the ground. And we get our water from the ground. That's where our wells are. So these fires can go on for days.
1 minute
all right?
remaining.
And the point is, how much water is going to go in there and how much is going to go on the ground? So it's a big problem there. We have to get people with influence to get ISLIP to turn this thing around and say, no, we don't want this. I contacted Nicola Loda, didn't hear back from him, and I'm going to contact, what's his name, Ed Romaine. I'm going to see what he has to say, if he can. I got to find out when he has a meeting. But the whole point is that we got to get people with influence to try to tamp this thing down. And it's a safety problem. Your fire department has already said they don't want it, and that's well done, well done. The city of New York has problems with these damn ion batteries, and especially the knockoff batteries. But the whole thing is, this is very dangerous for, residents. You know, the whole firehouse would have to be shut down, believe it or not, if they were to evacuate. The firehouse on
Mr.
Hop
Marcello, your time is up.
Yes.
But
Okay.
let me just say this. Please stay in touch with us. The facility that you're talking about being constructed is in the town of Islip.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a moratorium, we in Smithtown have a moratorium, so there'll be no battery storage units constructed here anytime soon. And we are in touch with Senator Mario Matera, who has had experts come down.
Wonderful.
From Albany to discuss with ourselves and the volunteer fire departments here about the dangers of this. So we will stay on top of it. I would encourage you to stay in touch with us so we can keep you posted.
I will. I'll do that. And I appreciate very much this opportunity, and I hope there are people with the influence here to get things going and keep this thing away from us, because the wind knows no...
No, I'll get it.
I get it. What do you think of Thank you very much. Thank you.
Listen, thank you for, if I knew you were the only gentleman, I would have let you go first. Sorry you had to sit through that public hearing. But please, Mr. Marcello, stay in touch with us so we can keep you posted on what's
I
going
will
on.
keep you posted. I will.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There's one more.
One more. Erwin Eisen.
Mr. Supervisor, members of the board, good evening. Having been labeled the unofficial organizer of the tax rally and a registered Republican in a Republican-dominated town, the rally was a bipartisan effort. The budget hearing held on Election Day in front of the administration left intact with no political casualties, despite a proposed 10% tax increase, has sent a powerful message into 2026. The most powerful voices that night did not come from me, but from the director of the Senior Center and from the younger members of the Youth Services Bureau. What I heard was the other side of the tax dollar being spent for services our town provides, which get lost in the political discord of red versus blue. What I heard was how our dollars are being stretched by local, state, federal governments, and how our school districts comprise most of our tax dollars. What I heard were residents' complaints, impassioned, emotional pleas about salary raises in hard economic times. What I heard was how the town of Smithtown had not pierced the tax cap since the inception, a fact which has gone underappreciated in this process. What I heard was a plea for a more open, transparent, collaborative, and innovative budget process. Then I heard the Parks Department here spoke of how the town parks and beaches would be closed, and the Highway Department speak of how leaf collection and debris collection would be reduced. The dark voices of reduced services should take a look at their own budgets, Mr. Supervisor and members of the board. And does the Park Department need one groundskeeper, number one groundkeeper, number two heavy equipment operators, one labor crew leader, 14 laborers, 3 maintenance mechanics, 2 maintenance mechanics division 2, 3 town maintenance crew leaders, 1 town park maintenance supervisor, And does the highway
1 minute
department
remaining.
need, again, 22 laborers? Then I listened to the board vote on November 13th to approve the budget as it was. And I listened to Councilman Lohman speak how he could not reduce the town workforce by 46 full-time employees and 100 part-time employees. And I asked, what positions were they? Number one, okay? I did not hear any efforts to reduce the budget by $1 on the November 13th meeting. And that, members of the board, town council, is not right, okay? It's got to be a better process. So I asked for the following, that not $1 was reduced from the proposed budget to the final budget? Why? You couldn't find $1 of savings for the town? That's a shame.
No other speakers. I will move to close.
Second. Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarello.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes. Okay,